For so much of history, people gathered around a fire. Not so much gathering around a screen as you go not that far back and think about a fire, the source of light and heat and community, a place to be able to see in the dark. You start to think of what a short amount of time it's been, this modern era that we take for granted. So I say, join me around the fire today. I had a fire out in the country, and going to clean up this brush pile, and we can sit around the fire today here. Feed your freedom fire. I want you to do it. I want this to be a powerful session. I'm going to read a really, I think, moving passage from this book, Dear Artist, by Jaya John. The passage is specifically about overcoming fear. So as we think about gathering the fire, around the fire, coming together, we can have a lot of fear in our life that is a barrier. And in the health space, that can look like a lot of different things. Specifically in the metabolic health space, you can list what is coming to your mind. Fear of change, fear of discomfort, fear of success. We did that one. And so confronting our fear today as we're getting this fire going. Metabolism is like a fire. It literally is. It's burning. It's creating the heat in us. It's using that energy. We want a spark. We want to ignite it. I hope this is my offering to you, that this passage can help fan the flame of the fire, the metabolism and the human spirit that is within us here. Catch the flame. Fear is your faithful human companion. It can keep you suffering in silence or singing sacredly. Fear can polish your art if you let it. It can be a stone wall against which you bash yourself and never go forward. It can be a poison you swallow that stunts your growth. Fear can callous your heart. Contort your truth into something palatable for the masses. Fear can have you running in circles, fleeing the fire, or burying yourself in the sand. Fear can also be your useful propellant, your clarifying tonic. Look into your fear. See about it. Choose the relationship you wish to have with this persistent spirit. Fear is for you what you determine it to be. Fear is not fate. It is a feeling asking you to translate it into whatever language and meaning you desire. Feed your freedom fire. So I say this is our freedom fire. We're burning up the fear right in this space. Here it's getting going. We got the spark. We got way down at the base. We got the tiny little flicker. Bringing in the oxygen. This one was too much. I shouldn't have done that. Bring in the oxygen. Burn up the fear. I love a fire. Just watching a fire for so many reasons. This fire got so hot, I couldn't believe it. I was worried about my poor camera here. I thought I put it far enough away, but I was like, ooh, would have liked it a little further away. This is what I want to help us do. Trip into a space where things really get going. That can be a struggle in a plateau space. How long did we take starting the fire? Gotta work with it. Tiny little steps, tiny steps. You know, for that first couple minutes, I'm down in there. I'm like, man, I'm recording this. I'm a good fire starter. I gotta get this going, right? So we're putting pressure on ourselves. Timelines. But then we hit the right combination. Boom. I tried to get the audio in here this time. Can you hear that rush of the fire, the wind that it's sucking up as it's starting to really get going? Like the breath of the fire. Picture as these flames are rising. This is everything I'm afraid of. This is every barrier that is holding me back. Maybe it's painful to watch it, like if we're putting something in there that we're really struggling with. I think for me, I'm thinking about it. I'm seeing some stuff, and that's just, it's like, ooh. Ouch. You want to get some barriers into the fire? You gotta open up to them. Pour them out on the fire. Is that like gas on the fire? When we really lean into it, we say, I've been held back from this journey for so long. Think of the intensity of this fire. I'm back by the camera. I was actually holding my hands around the edges of the thing, trying to figure out, like, is this gonna hurt this? I'm trying to protect it. It was so hot. Is this the kind of intensity that we need to bring to our health experience? I want to help us navigate a very fine line. Everything I try to do, gentle, thoughtful, nothing ever forced. I also want to help bring the most powerful human intensity, an inferno of intensity. We need powerful solutions in order to accomplish difficult things. To me, a fasting space, it is a fire. It's opening up the space for the oxygen to flow into the fire, so just you hear that rush of the wind. This is what can happen in the fasting space in the body. The talk I did yesterday looking at these metabolic studies. Fear people have in society and medicine. Man, if we start fasting, we're going to put out the metabolism. People see fasting as like pouring water on the fire, when the reality that we saw in clinical studies that we looked at yesterday, it's like the breath. Marie, good morning. Finally made it. Yes. Welcome. Gallbladder surgery next week. Oh, hey, I'm sorry that is going on. I hope this goes smoothly. Ouch. Still focused on eating less often, moving more throughout the day, veggies and protein. Hey, that's awesome. That is awesome. Double gold star for you. Moving toward it while you're dealing with this medical issue. That is tough. That is tough. Wishing you well on that. Let us know how it goes. I stepped through this in a little more detail. Now that we made it through this big rush of the fire, it's like there's like this first wave of the fire, right? It really takes off and it burns through that first layer, all the tiny twigs that are there, and we get this huge rush, and then now it's kind of dying down. Now it's just burning on main part of it, and then we'll see it slowly calm down. To me, this is the analogy of what we're trying to do in a couple ways. Fasting, space, barrier to entry, hunger, that can come away as a wave, right? And hunger can feel like a fire. It can be like, it's like a barrier. Whoa, this is intense. We've turned up the heat, you know? But just like this fire, isn't this experience? You make it through it. The wave crests, the fire peaks, and then a breath, and then look, and it will diminish. Yeah, hey, absolutely. Maybe a tiny silver lining if you are up for it. A tiny silver lining. Some other food not going to feel too good on a gallbladder, yeah. No chocolate since April. Huge win. Hey, I cut out chocolate in April also after Peru. I had been on a real chocolate, you know, maybe binge is too much. But what is just short of that? A lot of chocolate. And it's helped. I've cleaned up a lot of stuff personally. That was the Lean In Challenge, Summer Lean On Challenge. Kick our summer off right. Dial in. So I'm glad you've been able to do these things. You know, make it through this season. You'll get through the surgery. Hopefully that will help things flow, and then just get in a good groove after that. Fear is your faithful human companion. Man, I mean, this is... I don't know, do you think he's being sarcastic? I don't know, he's saying, like, it's always there with us. You can count on it. Is this good, though? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe realizing that can help us have some compassion for ourselves and our situation. This is a normal part of the human condition. To be fearful, to have doubts and things that are self-limiting beliefs. This is normal. He creates this juxtaposition. Our fear can keep us suffering in silence. Like, are we doing that to ourselves? Can you think of times when you have done it? I can. How about no more? Let's not do it. No more suffering in silence. Fear can keep us suffering in silence or singing sacredly. I think these are some deep things to think about. How does it do that, really? How does our fear keep us singing sacredly? Maybe it's just gratitude. What's coming to me is just gratitude. The fact, look, we are here. We have this opportunity to step forward in the face of our fears. And that seems like singing sacredly to me. Fear can polish your art if you let it. You know, the big perspective in a session like this that I'm trying to bring you, our health journey is an artistic expression. We are creating it to the best of our ability with the hand that we are dealt, you know. We want that expression of health to say, what does health look like in this life that I have? I'm just going to give it what I have and maybe say, how does it come out? We don't know. We give it our best. Polish it with fear. This is a really out there thought, I think. Can be a stone wall against you, bash yourself and never go forward. Have you found yourself in a space like that in health or life? Banging your head against a wall, stuck. Callous your heart, contort your truth. This is the negative side of it. We want to use it as the propellant. That's what it says. Look what we're doing here. We're burning it up. It's burning up as we're going along. Fear can have you running in circles, fleeing the fire. I think this is the sentence that maybe resonates with me most. Don't flee the fire. And I think this is the fasting space. It's like turning to the fire, accepting it, being open to it, using it, leaning into it. The difficulty in the emotional space is how we overcome difficult emotional spaces with food, in my view. This is how it should be used. Never pushed into a space that is beyond our comfort, and I use the word comfort as in like it's not always comfortable, but that we're comfortable with it. That we choose it, that we say, no, this experience that I'm having, this is an experience. The body coming back into balance. Called to it. Never on a day where we say, I'm just not up for this. Never forced, always open. Look into your fear. Look into it. What is it? Is there a deeper level to it? What are you afraid of? And why? See about it, they say. Take whatever is coming to you in that space. See about it. He's like, really dig into it. Don't flee the fire. Really lean in. Is this the type of thing really to do? Maybe the journal is the tool to really get into that, to help you get it out and look into it. Choose the relationship you wish to have with this persistent spirit. This is weaving us in right at the beginning. At the beginning, it's a faithful companion. Here it's a persistent spirit. It's with us, whether constructively or destructively. Fear is for you what you determine it to be. What would you like to determine fear to be in your life? What role should it have if we can't really get rid of it? This is suggesting, just in an artistic way, that we can't really ever be rid of it. That it's something that we have a relationship with. How do we change that relationship? Maybe we don't like it. Is fear limiting us? Is it, how did it say, warping, contorting things, callousing our heart? Is this keeping us trapped in cycles of negative behaviors, negative decisions? Say, this is not really serving me, but I'm stuck. How do we do it? How do we lean into it? Don't flee the fire. Lean into it. Burn it up and understand it. Mold the relationship so that it's a propellant. Fear is for you what you determine it to be. I say it's not fate. That's what it says. We don't have fate. I read a quote that's coming to me. Who was it? It was basically saying one of the biggest mistakes that people make as they grow up is thinking that the way things are is something like has become fate and it can't be changed. That's a poor paraphrase, but it's something like that. It is a feeling. Fear is a feeling asking you to translate it into whatever language and meaning you desire. This takes this is like a whole journey in a little paragraph. We've gone through the difficulty of fear, the potential to use it. We translate it in whatever we desire. Feed your freedom fire. This is our freedom fire here. Hey, thank you for this. Learning lots when we talk about these studies. Like yesterday, I really loved preparing that. I spent a lot of time reading studies. I do love reading studies. And at these studies, very, very fascinating research that is going on. And so I'm glad that you found some value in that. It's sometimes counterintuitive. Yeah, absolutely. You really have to get into the right frame of mind, I think, to see it. And so I'm glad that you found some value out of that. If you haven't seen it, go back, watch it. I watched the session after I, gave it, just do a little self-critique. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yes. Prayers and best wishes. Yes. Oh, I was wondering to ask you if you are up by wildfires up there too. We've been smoked out in Wisconsin the past couple weeks from wildfires, and I've seen some pictures. I don't know where you are in Canada if you had that. Yeah, check out that talk. It's really 2 talks. I did the talk last week where I mainly just focused on presenting my research from the research study at the University of Wisconsin. And then I did the follow-up talk yesterday. Oh, I was saying I watched it. And I'm trying to figure out, the best ways to do all these things. I watched it. It's very hard for me, I guess what I'm trying to work on. Try to make eye contact with you on the camera while I'm trying to do this. I wrote in that talk kind of like an intro monologue to kind of hit all the points, and so I read it. And if I had it to do over again, I would make it into bullet points. I was like, this is a little, it just looks like I'm reading a thing, because that's what I'm doing. But I did get all the points in, which I thought were good, so. It's all a journey. We're on a journey. We're learning how to do it. To me, I'm trying to learn how to take, like you are saying, like things that seem counterintuitive, try to help us really understand it. The whole fasting paradigm is like a total inversion of the way that the medical establishment, nutrition culture, society has typically thought. Yeah, I really had trouble with it here when it was like this. Here, this was a day we had perfect air quality, and it was cool, and all this was nice, but yeah, crazy times. So yeah, it's interesting. I would love to take that perspective, these talks. I don't know. I'm glad that if people like it. I do like I like a session like this where we can just hang out, have a coffee, tea, sit around the fire, think about some big, philosophical things. I really love that. I love the talks. I never know. It's like, it's harder. I don't know. It seems a little harder maybe to interact around some of these things. But some of that, I guess, maybe that's just a day. I mean, everybody busy in these things. In my view, I would like to really, a talk like that, I would like to give, I would like to be talking at big medical symposiums, I would like to be giving a keynote talk at the American Diabetes Association. If by some stroke of internet magic this finds someone there, I say, shoot me an email, let's talk. I would love to bring this perspective from that talk. Incredible global research. I mean, we listed like 14 different countries that are coming to similar conclusions about the ability of fasting space to improve the metabolism, to help people normalize insulin resistance. It's really profound. The more I lean into it, it's really profound. Like, there has to be a way to capture it in a way that is easier to communicate. That's what I'm trying to do. Different analogies, different ways of thinking. Let me know ideas that you have or perspectives of it. And then this is the thing that I'm most interested in, is it's one thing to give, a talk and look at research, to do a research study. It's another thing to, help someone do it. And they say, okay, we have like the theory of it, and then we have the actual practice of it. Practicing something in a research study different than practicing it in real life, A research study has a lot of components to it. And maybe, you know, the process of being in a study itself, you know, it's like you're getting extra support. You're part of something bigger than yourself. You're signing a contract. I'm really going to be doing this, you know? And I think that brings a level of intensity to it that is different, you know, than without it. And so that's, you know, what these types of sessions are. Here's our day, right? Thursday is like a random Thursday. We have an opportunity in this day. Whenever you're watching it, if you're here on the replay, we got an opportunity here. Lean in. Every fear, everything that's blocking us, we throw it on the fire. We make it through a wave of hunger. We come out on the other side. You see the body is strong and powerful. You say, I'm not up for that today. No problem, okay? Just for the day when it is. But yeah, I remember this too. I've told the story on the channel of the first patient that I saw fasting benefit. A gentleman with extremely high insulin use had to fast for a colonoscopy, and the GI doc wouldn't do it. They're like, the insulin is just so high, and we got to figure out what to do. And you know, you probably heard me say it. You know, we cut the insulin way back, and then the blood sugar still went too low. And I'm like, this is just wild that that you just do a little fasting and the blood sugar goes down. And then the same day I meet this Hindu woman who is just fasting every week, a whole day. And I'm just like, it sounds terrible, sounds counterintuitive, like you're saying. But I was like, just something to it, you know. And I spent a year doing that. I think a year doing it. 2014, 2015. And then I saw a talk. I was feeling really down about it because I'm trying to tell people, I'm like, I'm putting people on these fasting protocols and I'm getting them off insulin and like their A1C's normalizing. Does anybody else think this is interesting? And the answer is basically like, no. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, nobody else thinks this is interesting? People like, you shouldn't do that. That's not good. Like, seems pretty good. Seems pretty good to me. And then I saw a talk, Jason Fung. That was the first talk. I just went on YouTube, you know. I think I had never really watched YouTube. I was not a YouTuber consumer back then. I was like, I don't know, maybe somebody is on YouTube. I saw a talk, Jason Fung. He's going through research studies on metabolism and fasting. I was like, well, this is fascinating. This is really cool. So I had a great encouragement by that. I put a video, there's a video, thank you Jason Fung, on my video channel. And I sent him a little note when I made it, and he said right on. So, you know, that was nice. Jason Fung has a really nice Substack, and I was reading his Substack article yesterday. He's got one about, there was just this terrible abstract that was put out at the American Heart Association. I think that intermittent fasting is basically something like going to increase your risk of a heart attack by like 80%. And it was just completely ridiculous. This was maybe 2 years ago that came out. And then people pick that up. I mean, this is obviously intentionally done. There's a huge institutional bias for whatever reason there has been historically to attack fasting, to present it as irrational and dangerous and foolish even, and all kinds of things, and within the scientific community. And I think, I mean, if I had to guess, is very cynical, but I think it's probably a lot of pharmaceutical money driving that. I don't know if that's too cynical, but there's got to be some reason for it. That's why the talk yesterday is so fascinating to me. It's like, you know, this stuff isn't really originating in the U.S. It's just amazing. People around the world, like, you get out of some of this mindset, and then now it's hard for people to ignore. You know, the data is like really kind of forcing the hand of people to recognize. And, you know, now I put a little fasting nugget yesterday. Fasting basically mainstream now. If you look at the research and the guidelines, you know, it's is so interesting, is mainstream in the guidelines, but it certainly hasn't impacted clinical practice. And there's just, I think it's cultural, you know? I think it's cultural. It's so, this has got to be the pinnacle consumption culture that's ever existed on Earth. I think, I mean, there's never been anything like it. And, you know, a different type of culture that is more integrated in natural cycles and things to practice fasting is just the way things have been, and people grew up with it. It wasn't a thing. There's like, this is just, you know, part of how it is. It's part of culture and tradition. Very hard to take something like this, deeply powerful, counterintuitive from this perspective, just bring it in. People are like, no, 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 no. Sometimes I think it takes a space like this really to do it. You know, really, fasting space is just an open space in the body. Here it is, sitting around the fire. Do you find this? Have you had the opportunity to sit around a fire? Especially at a time like this. We've gone through this whole inferno, and now it's burned down. And look, now, it's like we're getting some of the coals, and we just hear that quiet little crackle. Something about that experience, to me, always sets the right tone for some contemplation, doesn't it? Some good thinking. I think the video I recorded, we're just about out the end of it. We'll see it go. Then I wanted to shut my poor camera off so it wouldn't overheat, and then I just sat around by the fire for another hour or so. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, you know, I love that. It does seem to work. It seems to work. It's not like a magic wand. I mean, I would say that. It's not a magic wand. It is it has its own set of challenges. I love that quote from the other week. Everything has its own set of challenges, and so fasting certainly has its own set of challenges. I want to help people navigate those challenges as smoothly and beautifully as possible. Hey, this is progress. See, this is what I was saying in the talk yesterday. Like, you know, we saw in the standard of care guidelines from the ADA, you know, that they had still some cynical language in it. Go. But it's okay. You see the progression, you know, there's a huge progression that is happening. And so I think coming through this process, fasting has been part of human culture as long as there's been human culture, as far as I can see. And so it was kind of forgotten, and now we're back in a space where it's kind of remembering, you know. And now we're figuring out, like, how do we reintegrate it? How do we integrate this into medicine in a thoughtful way, in a balanced way? How do we figure out who are the people that it's really for, and how do they do it? Because, of course, you know, there's people where it's not for. And so, you know, how do we have everything, no hype, everything grounded in reality? That's why I just think these studies are the best. Studies, you know, say maybe a little dry, a little boring, okay, but as much as we can is reality grounded. Try to some of our thinking, I turned that one into a short. I don't know what I think about the shorts, but I do like it. Kind of capture a little idea and throw it out there. Fasting is something that you can trust. I think it is. It is a core physiologic mechanism in the body. I think it is a trustworthy state. Body knows where the energy is. That was the key phrase to me in that one. It might not always feel like it, but the body does know. And this is really our task, right? On a weight loss path, trying to restore the metabolism. It's like there's no switches, no dials in the body. The body just responds to the environment that we put it in. And so we try to shape that environment in the best way to help us flow through these decisions. There is a set of decisions, do you believe it, that would be the optimal course to help you flow into the direction that you want. And so 1% better every day is like, how do we dial in on that? Make it as easy as possible to move toward that. Bring every good thing together. The movement that I know people are working on, trying to bring that in, so good. I have been meeting with a doctor friend of mine. We've been reviewing studies on high-intensity interval training for type 2 diabetes, which is very interesting. Some studies suggesting that shorter, more intense intervals have more efficacious blood sugar control. I really like the idea. See, type 2 diabetes, I increasingly just see it's just an extension. It's just one spectrum of metabolism. But the diabetes state lets us see it in a more easy to understand way. When our body is still compensating on blood sugar, it's harder to see these things. But the same physiology is happening. And so I do a talk probably. We'll see if we can get them to come on. I'm going to try to do like an interview where we both talk about it. It'd be fun. Dig in to think about an exercise space. We'd have done definitely some talking fasting and exercise. The studies from it's a specific lab in Japan that I'm reading about doing the most work on it. They use just stair climbing. Their idea of high-intensity intervals is just walking up and down the stairs, which I love because it's so practical. It's free. Most people have stairs. You can find stairs. And it's like, okay, walking up the stairs, more intense than taking just a regular walk. But it's not high intensity, like you don't have to go to CrossFit or something. So doing some reps on the stairs. The protocol I was reading was 3 minutes on the stairs twice a day. And they were having some really good things because like when we are contracting our muscles, secret little trapdoors in the muscles open up. Let blood sugar come in, insulin independent. So we're trying to overcome insulin resistance. Okay, really cranking in on those muscles. They're like sugar sponges. Suck that up. That's good for weight loss. That's good for diabetes. It's good for everything. Good for being stronger. Yes. Beautiful to share this space with you. I hope you have a beautiful day. I will look forward to seeing you back here.